How do I get my kid to enjoy reading? That is the question for today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and the founder and clinical director of Teen Therapy Center, and also the executive director for Child and Teen Counseling, a nonprofit training site for therapists in grad school offering low-cost counseling to the community. Every Wednesday at noon, I come on Facebook and answer your parenting questions, and here is the question of today. How do I get my kid to enjoy reading? I love reading, and I loved it when I was growing up, but he hates it. He's in middle school, and all he wants to do is play video games. I want him to have more balance. Balance, that is the key word right there. We're all looking for that elusive balance, but we all have a different idea what that is. Balance is not easy. It is not a place where everything's going smoothly. Balance is kind of in this middle ground between sometimes easy and overwhelmingly challenging. But it can be challenging to get there. But it's never easy to get there. So let's look at what are some factors that may be contributing to this young man's inability to enjoy reading. Number one, maybe it was forced down his throat his whole life. And pushed, you're going to be a reader, you're going to be a great reader. And now he's just rebelling as, I hate reading, I'm never going to read again. And that's something we want to make sure we want to curb and shift. Another thing is perhaps he has some learning challenges or learning differences. Kids who have a lot of attention issues and have a lot of energy, have 1,000 megawatt battery inside their chest always going, it's hard to sit on the couch and read a chapter of a book because they want to keep running and going and jumping and climbing. And it's important you find a way for that kid to expel some of that energy before he's reading. Because if he's trying to read and he's got so much energy, that's just not a good combination. Another thing is I would want to have him assessed by a developmental optometrist. Find out if he has any visual processing issues. Now that is separate from what his vision is. Your kid may have 20/20 vision and still not be able to process what he's reading. He may be able to see it clearly, but as it translates into his brain, the words are blurry, fuzzy, they move around, and it takes a lot of effort to get that back in gear, in line. And that can be a major challenge. So what's important is getting that assessed, and if he needs visual therapy, vision therapy to kind of align his eyes, make sure they're all going the same place, make sure the muscles are all working together. I've seen several kids have that vision therapy and be able to read and enjoy reading. Another thing, let's not focus on reading competency, let's focus on the joy of reading. If you get the joy of reading, competency will flow easily. But trying to get competency before joy, it's really difficult. Try to think of anything you really don't want to do and you have to go master it. That is a challenging uphill battle. But if you love doing it, you're going to throw yourself into it. So let him read whatever he wants. Even if it's 3 years below his reading level, doesn't matter. If it's graphic novels, if it's books that he should have been reading, when he was 9, it doesn't matter. If he's enjoying them, let him read them. If he keeps enjoying them, his maturity level will catch up and find other content that is more to his maturity level, where he's chronologically at. Also, audiobooks are really great. If it's really hard for him to focus on a page and get the reading down, listen to audiobooks. Podcasts. If an audiobook is too long, a podcast about something he's interested in. Sports, Pokemon. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's, somewhat age appropriate and it's not too advanced for him. Because that you're using your brain, you're visualizing things as you hear. So I think it's really important to incorporate that. Again, we're trying to teach a love of reading, not reading competency. Reading competency will come after the love of reading is built. Let's see, what else was I was going to say one more thing about this. I'm losing it. Old age. Anyways, so make sure that there's no learning challenges, vision processing issues. Make sure he has a love of reading. Also read to him, which is really important. Make sure, video games. She said something about video games, didn't she? Yes, she did. Video games take all the love and joy out of reading because it's all right there for you. It's visually stimulating. It's fun and exciting. There's nothing as fun as a video game. Well, it's harder to read when you're drawn to the excitement of a video game. So you may need to start limiting screens. That includes video games, YouTube, TV, and that goes for everyone. You can't just limit for him, you got to limit for everybody. And imagine if everyone's sitting on the couch on a Tuesday evening after school, after work, everyone's done with their stuff, and you guys are reading instead of or watching the game, whatever it is. Now, I know you're thinking, but I love my shows, and that's great. You can still love your shows, just postpone when you can watch them. You'll find time. I promise you, you will. You put your kids to bed, you'll get your half hour, an hour, and it'll be fine. Now, you may have to decide what's more important, sleep or your show, but isn't this what we're trying to teach our children? So I encourage you to walk the walk. Video games, TV, YouTube, they're all a lot easier than reading. So we want to develop that muscle and the enjoyment of that muscle. It's kind of like working out. You know, that first month working out, you hate it. But after that month, you start getting into it, and that soreness is a good sore. You're like, okay, I'm getting going somewhere. I'm feeling good. It's kind of like that with reading. Anyways, that is our question for today. If you have more questions, you can email us your question at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com. We'll answer your question. We love your questions. Keep them coming. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday at noon. Bye-bye.